Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Good morning and happy Friday, everyone.
Ooh, feels good. Saturday Eve, Adam.
We
How about
made
that?
it.
I don't get happy from oh, it's Friday. I don't.
Why?
It's not a thing for me. It's never been a thing for me.
It should be. The weekend's the next day.
Is any day happy for you?
No.
No.
Didn't think so.
He lives in misery 24/7.
I don't get it. It's not that big of a deal. I sleep the same amount of hours Monday to Sunday.
Very true.
So
I
like
don't.
I'm not
That's
it's not
for
like
sure.
I'm sleeping in Saturday. It's not like I go to brunch.
Why'd you have to
I don't
Right,
know.
why
I'm
is
kind of
this-
making my
Why
point.
is this brunch?
go to brunch?
no, people
But no,
say.
I get you. I get you.
Well, yeah, no, I don't care enough. I don't care enough.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'll wake up at 6, 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's way
I'll
too
probably
late.
go to the
Go to
gym.
brunch.
I definitely won't have brunch. And then I'll probably start working. And like that's it. That's my life.
I love that
I'm
for
happy
you.
with it.
Life of a working
I don't
man.
need a Saturday Eve, let alone, oh my God, it's Friday today.
Okay, well, I woke up a champion today, so that's all
I
that
know you
matters.
did.
You
I
won't
know
be
you
saying
did.
that next week when
We
the
have
Super
the
Bowl's
video,
on
don't
Sunday.
You do have the video.
All
For
right.
sure.
Do we want to start with
Yeah,
this?
Oh my
let's just-
gosh.
let's
I think this is pretty
start off
important.
with a bang. I mean,
All right. Oh, hell yeah.
It's in
It's in our
It's in the
Slack
Slack.
group.
yeah.
Oh,
So obviously, Maddie is in a dodgeball tournament. If that's the Maddie, why don't you explain first of all how you got here? You know what it's like to be a champion.
Yeah.
Started from the
You know,
bottom, now we're here.
started from the bottom and
Literally.
now you're here.
yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, we lost the first game in the tournament. Joined the losers bracket real quick. Ran train through the losers bracket. Then we went to the championship. We had to beat the team we lost to before we got to the championships.
Did you play
And
the
then-
nerds on the way to the championship?
Yes.
You did.
And you
Yes.
beat them,
Yes.
obviously.
You know what this sounds like? Some Chicago Bulls like story. Like, this is MJ.
Listen, there's
taking
no better-
down the Pistons. Like this is
Yeah, man.
this is badass right here.
Listen,
This ain't
we're,
no
we're
game.
talking MJ having to overcome the bad boy Pistons.
Yes.
That is what her dodgeball team had to overcome.
Yes. And,
And you were MJ. Yeah.
we had, in the championship game, since we were in the losers bracket, we had to win twice. So we had to win 4 games in order to be the champions. And your girl got the game-winning kill, the championship-winning kill, if I do say so myself. And I was MVP.
Oh, yeah, that's impressive. I mean,
I work with her, just so you know. I don't know if you realize this. I work with a champion.
Yes, yes, we do. Champions only.
yeah. That's what I
Oh,
said.
man.
Morning
That's
show.
the morning show.
Champions.
You know
only.
what? Don Burr, Fish, can I swear this morning or no?
I mean, I would advise you not, but you're going to do it anyway, so go for it.
This is the only time I'm going to swear today.
Oh,
Don,
sure.
fuck you.
That's a lie.
Don, fuck you.
So twice.
This is 2 days now I haven't had coffee. And do I look like a person that doesn't need coffee? No, I need coffee. And now I got 2 hours. Get ready for 2 hours of angry, frustrated, coffee needing. I feel like a fiend. Do we have the video?
Oh
All
my
right, let's see our
gosh.
superstar rock. This is the game-winning hit,
This
right?
is the game-winning hit, but keep in mind, you can't see the actual hit. You see me throw the ball, and then you see the celebration, and everybody
Oh, I
picks
don't
me
care.
up at
Oh,
the end.
That's a
Champagne.
legal
Champagne and
dodgeball.
everything.
Champagne showers. Slumdog Millionaires. Here we go.
Is that you right there picking up the ball?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That was literally a like Kobe-esque walk off. You seriously like you just walked off like a fucking.
I
was
bet
like,
you throw the ball better than 80% of the staff we have here. 100%.
Wow.
100%.
I won't,
That's no
Confirm
wonder.
or deny.
No wonder. I'm sure Ryan and Braylon saw this in the Slack group and they're like, yeah,
Oh, they're crapping their pants.
we're not interested in this. All right. Let's get the show
anyways.
started. Let's get the show started. I apologize. That was fun. That was fun. Don, appreciate you. Let's
Oh, yeah, you want a Cintron?
no. Not right now.
Yeah, I'm not sharing
It's
my
too
Cintron.
early for me. I don't know how he does it. It's so
Every
impressive.
morning.
It's so impressive. But let's
Start
start
your
with
day with
this.
a Cintron.
Shut the hell up, Fish. Should the Detroit Lions pursue Matt Nagy for their offensive coordinator position? This is kind of catching steam.
Yeah.
And look, I have no problem with teams doing their due diligence and interviewing people. And I think Matt Nagy honestly deserves another gig. I don't think it's an OC position. He probably goes on to become a quarterback's coach, an offensive assistant, somewhere along those lines, just not the offensive coordinator for Detroit. I don't think that's the fit. You saw what this offense could look like down the stretch last season, may I remind you. Yes, meaningless games, but what I saw was creativity, an ability to deceive the opposing team, control the line of scrimmage, run the football, and hit big plays on play action. That sounds good to me. And if it's Deuce Staley, Ben Johnson, I don't care. I think this is an internal promotion, Jeff.
Yep.
I don't think this is an outside hire. You already technically did this with Anthony Lynn. It didn't work out for various reasons. I don't think it's important why it didn't work out, because we saw what could happen with the team you have internally. Now, if you went the whole 17 games with Anthony Lynn and it just never worked out, well, yeah, you don't have a 6, 7, 8, 9 game sample size of what your team looks like without Anthony Lynn. But you have that. And I think internally is the way to go, Jeff. I think it's either Ben Johnson or Deuce Staley. I think Matt Nagy is a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did a good job, actually. In Chicago, may I remind you, he actually won a division title and was a double doink away from the NFC title game. So, let's put context on all this stuff. Crap on him all you want. I don't care. He's a good coach. He'll likely get a second job.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised 2, 3, 4 years from now. And he'll likely be a coordinator up until then. Just not in Detroit. Jeff?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we've been saying hire from within, but there's more to that. I don't think it makes sense for both sides. I don't think Matt Nagy, yes, he stays in his own division. He gets the revenge against the Bears. That's the only thing I see. I don't see Detroit as a destination where Nagy's trying to get back, at least I assume, to being a head coach. And that starts with, obviously, an offensive coordinator role. I don't see it with the Lions, and I don't see it as a fit from the Lions' perspective. I mean, look at it. You had a good sample size, like you said, with Ben Johnson as your pass game coordinator, Dan Campbell calling plays. If you had Anthony Lynn the entire season, maybe we'd have a different question because you'd know you've seen that horrific offense all season. You saw positive things towards the end. So with that being said, and the fact that I want them to hire within because you already have a philosophy that works. You have a rapport with Ben Johnson and Jared Goff, with Dan Campbell calling plays. Why in the hell would you mess that up? You're going to have Matt Nagy come in and bring his own philosophy. And number one, let's not forget, Matt Nagy with the Chicago Bears the last 3 years, he started his first 2 years so great. Last 3 years, he just descended in points as an offense. They were near 30 every year. So as a coach, he is a good coach. Offensive coordinator, I would hold out on that for the Lions. I see them hiring from within, and we talk about this all the time with guys like Jim Caldwell and potential and ceiling. I don't see, you don't know the ceiling of Ben Johnson. That's my point, or Deuce Staley for that matter. So those guys I'm looking at. Matt Nagy, I kind of know his ceiling. I kind of know what he is as a coach. So in my opinion, you got the rapport with Ben Johnson and Deuce Staley. You got to look at those guys. My pick is Ben Johnson, of course, but hiring Matt Nagy would an outside hire wouldn't make any sense to me. And number two, why would you have a whole new philosophy come in? Or even Matt Nagy, you think he would adjust to our philosophy? I don't think it would be a match.
Well, philosophy is the key word there.
Yeah.
What is the philosophy of Dan Campbell? Culture, right?
Yep.
There is no better way to promote culture and get a room that's already bought in to buy in even more than to hire internally. I'll give you guys an example. Let's say Woodward Sports is looking for a director of social media. Do you think it is the right move to hire outside, or obviously to entertain people from the outside, but let's say there are a few candidates internally? Don't you think it's better to promote the people internally who are already familiar with the brand, who are working on it on a day-to-day level,
familiar with the players,
who understand what you want, what your expectations are?
Mm-hmm.
Culture? You hire from within, and you give it to Ben Johnson or Deuce Staley at this point. That's the play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't think it can be any different. So, Maddy, we do got to go to break. When we get back, we talked about the Rooney Rule not too long ago, obviously with the Brian Flores deal. Now the Lions have been linked to, allegedly, in 2018, using Terrell Austin to fit/check the box for the Rooney Rule.
I got to get some things off my chest. So I cannot wait for this next segment.
We'll talk about that when we come back, but first we need to talk about the sports marketing agency.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you about our friends at the Sports Marketing Agency. SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni Sean Jordan, has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Soon coming to Woodward Sports is the Sports Marketing Agency podcast. This is the F-Word series on fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com and please tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. The Brian Flores lawsuit has now leaked into Detroit. Jeff, I know you have some strong feelings about what happened yesterday regarding the Rooney Rule, so let us have it.
Yeah, well, I'll start with this. It's a shame that guys like Terrell Austin have to go through this. Obviously, with the Rooney Rule, we talked about this yesterday, it does more harm than good. And this is a prime example. You have a guy who, and not just him, Brian Flores is another example, guys that go to these interviews and think they have an actual chance, which they should. Everybody should have the same exact chance to get the job. But similar to a Joe Sheen, Brian Dable situation, Bob Quinn already knew who he was hiring. So this is why the Rooney Rule is so... it does more harm than good. It's because Bob Quinn comes in and he realizes he already knows who he wants, Matt Patricia, but you have to satisfy the Rooney Rule. So you interview defensive coordinator for the Lions, Terrell Austin, who in his mind had no idea, came into the interview thinking he actually had a chance to get the job, and that's a shame. So my heart goes out to those guys. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that this thing needs to just be changed completely. I don't know how to change it, but that's sad. I will say this, though. I don't think it's the end of the world because he interviewed Terrell Austin. Listen, Bob Quinn, and was Matt Patricia the right decision? Absolutely, hell no. But at the same time, Terrell Austin, he was a good defensive coordinator for the Lions with the 11-5 season with Jim Caldwell. They were finished second in the NFL in points against and total yards against, and they led the franchise to 11-5 record. Everybody knows that, the playoff berth. The following year, they fell to 7-9, and the defense dropped to 18th in total yards and 23 in total points. So he was here the following 2 seasons, which the Lions regressed. And when Bob Quinn interviewed him at that point, you knew Bob Quinn wasn't going to bring anybody back on that coaching staff. We all knew that. It's ridiculous, and it's sad the case, but he fired Jim Caldwell, and he's not going to bring back any of his assistants. He already knew who he was bringing in, someone from New England. Now, if you have a problem with that decision, I agree with you. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit up here, and there's situations like Brian Flores, Hue Jackson, Every situation is made the same. There's different, details that go into each one of them. And I think Terrell Austin, as much as I feel bad for him in a way that the Rooney Rule is absolutely bogus, I don't think there was anything, racist. Because listen, they're satisfying the Rooney Rule. It's ridiculous. I get it. But I don't think Terrell Austin was ever a candidate, and that's the problem. That's the problem I have. It's not that he didn't get hired because, listen, they were regressing. So I'm not surprised he didn't get hired. I think it's sad that he had to get interviewed even though he knew he wasn't getting the job. That's kind of the problem I have with it, Adam. It's not that they didn't choose to hire Terrell Austin, obviously, because I most likely wouldn't have either. But it's sad the fact that Terrell Austin had to get interviewed just to check those boxes. And that's where I feel out for him. That's where I have an issue with it.
My issue with this is you knew exactly what was going to happen. Why was Jim Caldwell fired, ladies and gentlemen? Outside of the fact that, 9-7 wasn't good enough. Mm-hmm. Well, there's 2 optics. The GM, it wasn't his guy. You can start there. And that's a trend all around the NFL, not just Detroit. Number 2, if you're honest with yourself, Jim Caldwell hit a ceiling in Detroit. And then, obviously, number 3, how fair is it to judge Bob Quinn up until he hires his head coach, right? It's virtually impossible. And the clock started ticking the moment he hired Matt Patricia. And obviously, I'm not surprised that it didn't work out for obvious reasons. But we have to consider 2 things here with Terrell Austin. How upset are we? Why is that important right now? Two things. This is why the Rooney Rule is extremely frustrating. Number one, you're interviewing somebody knowing he is not your guy.
That's the issue.
You don't play like guys. You know, when you put out a job post, you accept hundreds of resumes. Of the hundreds, you'll maybe select 10, 15, and you'll interview them, or 20. Depends how much time you have. Depends how long the search is going to go on for. And you'll continue to interview until you feel you found 2, 3, 4, 5 prime candidates. And when you found these group of individuals, you'll bring them in for a second interview. And in that second interview, you will determine which one you're going to move forward with. That's what a normal hiring process typically looks like in most companies. With the NFL, typically when you're bringing a GM into the building, he already has an idea of who he wants as his head coach.
Exactly.
Very rarely is a new GM hired, and he comes into a stable coaching situation. You saw Les Snead came into Jeff Fisher and that whole saga. Or I believe he did hire Jeff Fisher. I can't remember correctly, but the point is, it wasn't working. You move off him, you bring in a new guy. Did he know Sean McVay? No, nobody knew Sean McVay. He was part of the Washington Redskins staff at the time. So it's not like he was this prime candidate that was coming out, this is the next Bill Belichick. No. But that's why you interview and you take all of these candidates seriously. Because you may interview somebody like a Sean McVay. Black, white, doesn't matter. And they may blow you away in their interview as long as you're open-minded enough to say, I'm accepting all candidates. Not, this one really caught my attention, I'm going to bring him in. I'll interview everyone else, but this is my guy. That is not a recipe for success, I'll tell you right now. It very rarely does that work. And that is my biggest problem with this. Terrell Austin basically interviewed for no reason.
That waste of time. And that's what Brian Flores said, humiliating. Like, that's humiliating. Like, anybody in any space of work, you go interview for a job you know you're not going to get, you're going to feel like an asshole. Like, that's exactly how you feel. So it's sad that we have to get to this point where Terrell Austin has to come out and more guys are going to come out. This isn't Hue Jackson, of course. It's a different situation. But it's still sad. I hope the league finally, there's something that needs to be changed. I don't know how to change it, and I don't think we have answers for anybody, but they got to do something.
In theory, right? In theory, the Rooney Rule is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Not in practice. Not in practice. Again, 2 GMs in Chicago and Minnesota, African-American GMs. They didn't hire African-American head coaches. So who does it stop with? Who are you guys going to hold responsible? You can't hold anybody responsible. I'll tell you, that's the truth, whether you like it or not. Because you can't force me to hire anybody I don't want to hire. Even if you think I should hire this person, I don't have to hire them. And there's no law you could ever put in place that tells me who I have to hire.
And they don't have to answer to Roger Goodell.
For my business, or my company, or my team, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
That's the sad truth. And yeah, it's going to take a cavalier, forward-thinking owner, GM, to not only break down those barriers, but really showcase, hey, there's talent here. Doesn't matter if it's white or black. I see talent. I'm hiring the talented guy that I think has high upside. That's why you interview. You interview to, leave a good mark with some of these GMs, even if they don't hire you. You interview so if your interview goes extremely well and there are still 2, 3, 4 vacancies available, that same GM will hit up one of the other GMs. Hey, I just had so-and-so in. It was really good. A really good interview. Look, honestly, I was always bringing in Kevin O'Connell. That was my guy. But hey, Patrick Graham, let me tell you. Patrick Graham had a good interview. I think you guys should take a look at him. Even if you're probably going to go another direction, I think that's somebody you should look at. That's typically how these conversations go. But again, the Leftwich example, well, he wanted the GM out. And good luck.
I agree with him.
We can agree with him, but it doesn't matter. Good luck.
Yeah.
You're not paying the GM compensation package when you get rid of him. It kind of seemed like a good idea and a good fit to everybody. Hey, young quarterback, bring in an offensive coordinator.
Bringing his.
He understands the culture. He played there. He won games there.
There's already controversy with your current GM.
And now they bring in Doug Pederson, who we'll get to later.
Yeah.
But that's a Super Bowl winning coach, an offensive-minded coach. I'm not even upset that they brought in Doug Pederson this morning, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not.
That's not even my issue. But again, it goes back to the Rooney Rule. How many of these interviews are just to check off a box, and how many of them are genuine to the point where I'm going to take this interview so seriously that if you crush this interview and we are on the same page on a multitude of things, whether it's player evaluation, how we're going to structure the front office, communication between the staff and the front office, whatever it may be. If we are aligned on those things and you crush your interview, it's going to be extremely difficult for me not to hire you. Does not matter who you are. But again, in theory, the Rooney Rule is beautiful. It gives technically opportunity. But that is not giving opportunity, in my opinion. Opportunity is, they're a head coach in the league now. But how much of that is being patient, to be honest? Because now you're seeing more and more African-American coordinators. You're seeing more assistants. You're seeing more of them coming up in the coaching ranks. Is it a matter of time? Is it odd there's one black coach in the NFL? Sure. That is odd. I don't think anybody likes it. But again, you can't force people to hire anybody. That is not a thing. We live in America. This isn't North Korea. This isn't China. Don't shut the hell up, fish. You can't force people to hire anyone. You can put in labor laws, practices, anything to kind of help them go in that direction.
No.
But at the end of the day, if Maddy runs a McDonald's, she can hire whoever the hell she wants. And that's why we have the Equal Opportunity Hiring Act, basically. That's why you have things like this. And most people don't see color in terms of a hiring process. Who's the best candidate? But when we talk about the NFL, it's not that diverse at the head coaching level right now.
No.
And when people bring up that issue, what do I say? I can't say much. It's kind of right in front of you. Do I have a solution? I don't. But you got to kind of call a spade right now.
Yeah.
Am I mad that the GM of the Bears hired the DC out of Indianapolis? Can I be? No. Can I be upset Minnesota's the front runner for Kevin O'Connell? No. And would I have been upset if they went for Jim Harbaugh? No. It's such a complicated subject because I don't believe anybody has the answer for it.
Yeah.
And again, I think it starts at the top. Ownership and the GM group in that front office, all those executives. Not just hiring people internally that are women, diverse, not just that. Who is leading our group of men on the field. And if you want that, go for it. But there are people that don't want that. And there are teams that don't want that. Or feel it may not be aligned. But you can't force it. Adam, you're right. You can't force it. But in my opinion, if there's even a shred of truth to Flores' comments in Denver, yeah, we have a problem.
Even with Miami. There's a lot of those accusations.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. There is a problem. We can talk about the problem. None of us have the solution. And I told you guys what? Monday, I believe? Tuesday? I sat up here and I gave you 5 coaches outside of Brian Dabble and Jim Harbaugh. Because they're now moved on, whatever. Let's forget about them. 5 coaches I would interview if I was a GM today in the NFL. Mike McDaniels. I'll go in order from 1st to 5th in terms of who I would want as my head coach. Mike McDaniels. Brian Flores. Number 3, give or take, Brian Leftwich, Aaron Glenn. Kevin O'Connell just got swooped up, so did Nathaniel Hackett, so I can't really go there.
Eric Bieniemy's out there.
Eric Bieniemy is out there, so I'll definitely take a look at Eric Bieniemy.
Saints are interviewing with him.
But I'm already telling you very openly, if I'm a GM, I'm trying to get the guy out of San Francisco to come coach my team. And I want to interview him, to be honest with you. And if he doesn't interview, well, then I'll move on. I'm not going to be that stubborn. But a lot of this is being stubborn.
Yeah.
It's committing all right, Matt Patricia is my guy. He's my guy. He's my guy. Oh, you know what? Maybe he doesn't speak well to players. He doesn't know how to command a locker room. He doesn't know how to get players to buy in. Oh, that's kind of important, but it's okay. It's my guy. We'll figure it out. That never works. Maddy, what do we do? We're seeing more women into the game.
Yeah.
We're seeing more African American coaches in terms of assistants, coordinators, etc., even in the executive front office level. What do we do here?
I don't think anybody has the answer for that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But we do got to go to break. But when we come back, we're switching gears to Pistons. They played last night at home. But first, we need to hear about Lady Jane's.
Well, guys, Lady Jane's, let's be honest. Hair's looking better than it did yesterday, of course, but I still need a haircut. And let's be honest, we like simple stuff. We like football, preferably 5 days a week, and we like things uncomplicated. So, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men, walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you even know it, you're handsome and clean. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime because it is wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. The Pistons took another loss yesterday. I was lucky enough to go to the game. I braved the snowstorms last night. But Cade Cunningham out again. Jeff, your thoughts on the game, please?
Yeah, I never thought they were going to win that game. And it's not even just because without Cade Cunningham, of course, and they scored 117. So obviously they put up points offensively, and that's probably my biggest takeaway. No Cade Cunningham, they were still able to score. Now, mind you, Timberwolves ain't very good defensively, but they have a lot of talent. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. They have D'Angelo Russell, but Anthony Edwards those guys were playing well. So at the end of the day, what you can take from this is, listen, although Sadiq had his 20 piece, Jeremy Grant had his 20 piece. The Pistons right now, and I've been saying this all year, I don't care if they lose or not. I think at this point you're already over 50 games into the season. You got 25, 30 games left. At this point, your number one concern for the Pistons should be kind of like last year. Compete, look good, but don't worry about winning these games, especially if Cade Cunningham out, hip pointer injury. Hopefully he heals well. There's another guy, OG Anunoby for the Raptors, who had a hip pointer injury. He was out for some time, so hopefully he comes back soon. We can watch Cade Cunningham, but other than that, I mean, you're seeing Jeremy Grant. I mean, this is really what we should use this time to sell Jeremy Grant. 20 points, 3 for 8 from downtown. Didn't shoot the ball too efficiently, but he looked all right. So this time, I'm not worried about analyzing the games and everything. I mean, Frank Jackson, that guy needs to come back. I've been saying that all year. That's probably one of the guys out of Corey Joseph and him. I like Frank Jackson. He's a very good piece off the bench. I mean, 5 for 11 from downtown. He had 25 points. So I'm not too worried really about this team in general. They're going to lose a lot of games. I mean, honestly, they have 12 wins right now. I think me and Adam at the beginning of the season have the over on the 25.5. We didn't know Cade would miss the games he missed, but at the same time, this team is even worse than I thought. So I'm not worried. They lost to the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are contending for the playoffs. And they had significantly more talent, and they're in a position right now where they want to make the playoffs. So 2 teams, 2 different destinations they're going. Mm-hmm. One team's going to be probably top 3 in the lottery. One team's trying to make the playoffs. That's what I took from it at the end of the day. And hopefully, by the way, I got to mention Killian. I can't let this slide without Killian. Killian did not have a great game. And minus 13, he had the worst plus-minus out of all the Pistons on the floor. That stuff kind of frustrates me a little bit. I mean, I really want those strides to happen with Killian. He obviously got moved to the bench. Him and Cade were starting in the backcourt together, and Dwayne thought it'd be a better fit if he moved with the second unit. And it was working for some time, but didn't play too well last night. He had one of his worst games in a while. So what I took from last night, not too much. I mean, raise Jeremy Grant's stock, lose as many games as possible, go draft Jabari Bird or Paulo Banchero. So that's what I took from it.
Yeah, the Killian Hayes thing is starting to get really frustrating, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is.
But look, are they going to trade Jeremy Grant? I don't know. I hope so. Killian Hayes, he can't score. He's not showing any progress. His season high is 13 points, Jeff? 13 points?
It's starting to get...
And he hasn't even done it more than one time.
It's starting to get concerning.
That is a problem. Look, he can play defense. It's really nice, but listen, you guys need to chill out in the chat. And I want to call out a few people, if I may, because this is getting pretty bad. You guys need to chill out, number one. All right? The problem is that black coaches are having winning records and still being fired. That is not true. That is actually not true. The only coach in NFL history right now that hasn't gotten a second job with a winning record is nobody. Brian Flores has a losing record. Jim Caldwell has a a winning record, and he's one of 5, I believe, or 4 head coaches that are black that have a winning record. But he's had multiple jobs. 2. Now, if you want to say there's a third job out there, be my guest. I wouldn't hire him. But who's there? Who is it? This is about giving opportunity to the unproven ones, not about Jim Caldwell, Lovie Smith, any of these guys. We're done. We're way past that now. We're well past that. Stop. We're being a bit dramatic right now. The point is, do we believe there are diamonds in the rough? Black, white, doesn't matter, like a Sean McVay, where you could say maybe it's Patrick Graham, Aaron Glenn. I think so. And the only way you find out is by hiring them. That's it. Stop being a bit dramatic. Thank you very much. Back to the Pistons. Jesus Christ.
I do want to ask you guys a question. Considering the Rookie of the Year run, Cade Cunningham keeps missing games due to injuries. They're kind of babying him on every aspect of it. Do we think that's going to hurt his chances of winning Rookie of the Year?
Honestly, as well as Cade's been playing, he's been number 1 in all these Rookie of the Year rankings, deservedly so, by the way. I think the injury is probably going to hurt him, depending on how long he's out, because we saw Scotty Barnes was number 1 in the Rookie of the race. He was injured, and so was Emily Mobley. Now they're back, and they're healthy. They're playing. It's almost recency bias with the Rookie of the Year award. If you get injured earlier in the season, it benefits you, but the later you get injured, it affects you. Like Joel Embiid, this is a completely, I always remember this story. Joel Embiid had one of the most dominant rookie years, and he only played in like 30 games. Malcolm Brogdon played in all 82. Had averaged like 10 less points. He won Rookie of the Year because he played in all the games. So injuries do worry me with Cade winning that Rookie of the Year award, but damn it, he's so good. So hopefully they get it right. Hopefully.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Evan Mobley should be the front runner, considering he hasn't dealt with as many problems as Cade.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But if Cade misses 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 more games, all right, maybe that's going to be a problem and hurt his Rookie of the Year candidacy. But no, he'll be fine. It's a hip pointer. He may miss, 1 more game? Wow. Look, he's been the most outstanding rookie outside of Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes this year. It's been a good class. But the Pistons made the right choice at number 1.
I don't care about the Rookie of the Year
I don't
award,
care. I think they did such a good job with it. Go ahead.
I just want to tell you, do you know Andrew Wiggins won Rookie of the Year? Back in when he was rookie, averaged 20 points, and ever since then, just
Andrew Wiggins. I thought that was Tyreek Evans.
No, he did. He did. I think as well.
Yeah, Tyreek Evans.
Think about guys that win Rookie of the Year.
Evans had the greatest rookie season.
Yeah, he did.
And everyone thought this guy was the next Kobe Bryant out in Sacramento.
Got to see.
And he fell apart. Yeah. And I loved him at the time. I was like, holy crap, this dude is crushing the league. 21 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Holy crap.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Don't worry.
I'm not worried about Cade. I'm not worried if he wins an award or not. You think I care?
Yeah.
I know what the Detroit Pistons have in Cade Cunningham. And I hope they're able to trade Jeremy Grant because, my goodness, am I getting frustrated with this guy still on the roster. And not only have I not had a coffee yet this morning, I've had to witness another game where this guy plays for the Detroit Pistons. And it's really starting to piss me off. How hard is it to trade him? Send him to the Bulls. I don't care if they give you a second-round pick and 1,000 copies of the Michael Jordan documentary. Oh do the goddamn trade. Holy hell. I'm not going to swear this morning. I'm going to behave as much as I can. Jeff, what am I doing with Jeremy Grant?
Well, listen, you look to trade him. And listen, I want to get this out of the way, too. I know people are going back and forth on Twitter, and this is my issue on Jeremy Grant. I agree. There's a possibility you can wait till the summer to trade him, but my always, and I'm going to stick by this with Jeremy, his contract is the most attractive right now. He's a free agent in 2023. The longer he has on his deal to playoff teams, it's more attractive. If you're trading him with 1 year left, you're probably going to get less. So, in my opinion, you trade him before the deadline, and it just depends what Troy Weaver's asking, because we know Troy Weaver's asking for multiple first-round picks, 1 or 2, and/or a good player in a first-round pick. There's going to be worries with that. Who's going to offer you that? Lakers don't have a first-round pick for years. A lot of these playoff teams don't want to give up those kinds of that kind of draft capital. So we'll see. With Jeremy Grant, depends on what Troy wants. But in terms of actually trading Jeremy Grant, I think you do, because Jeremy's game style and how he plays the game, very isolated, very ball stopper, if you will. He's a great player, but I think he would be more suited on a playoff team, a great team that has superstars, and he could just kind of be his role. Now, will he accept that, though?
I would trade Jeremy Grant for a case of Snickers, 2 second-round picks, I don't know, and a box of Gatorade. Yeah, that's it. What does he do? He's a number 3 on a good team. What the hell is he doing for this basketball team right now, outside of taking touches away from Saddiq Bey and Cade Cunningham, when Cade's healthy? And Killian Hayes, for that matter. I don't need him on the court. He is not only a liability, he is useless. He's not some prolific scorer.
No.
A number 1 scorer on a basketball team? Yeah, if you put him on a team that's tanking, he'll look good. You guys actually told me that he was an all-star last year, and you got mad that I said he wasn't. Unbelievable. Come on. You put me on the Pistons, I think I could score 4 points a game. I might take 10 shots.
Yeah, we won't talk about percentages, but...
We're not talking about percentages here. But I'm just saying, like, if I shot the ball 20 times a game, probably 10 of them get blocked because of how small I am. All right? I probably get fouled maybe once, so maybe I go 1 of 2 from the free throw. I may get 1 point a game. All right, I'm joking way too much. But seriously, trade him. I don't know what the value is. I don't know if you can get a significant one. You're not going to get a lottery pick for him.
Yeah.
Accept that. No team is going to take him on. No team is going to be willing to take Jeremy Grant, who's going to want 4 years, $120 million after this.
Yeah.
That's why it...
And again, in today's NBA, everybody gets paid, right, Jeff?
You're right.
Not Jeremy Grant. If I'm a GM, bye-bye. Hell, if I have to pay you to take him, I would. He does nothing for this basketball team. I need Hayes to touch the ball more. Saddiq to touch the ball more.
Yep.
Cade to have the ball more. That's 3 guys that are ball handlers.
Yeah.
You had Jeremy Grant. Forget. Why do you think the offense sucks all year, by the way? Even when he was hurt, even before he got hurt. There's so many people that touch the ball. There's not a consistent, fluid way this team plays basketball.
100%.
That is one of my biggest frustrations with Dwayne Casey.
And you saw when Jeremy Grant got injured, and now they didn't
and
win
they started to get some momentum.
Yeah. Yep.
And they started to look really good. And clearly, Cade Cunningham is a star player, and Jeremy Grant isn't.
Yeah.
But, nobody wants to call out the elephant in the goddamn room. Drives me nuts, Jeff.
Yeah, it does for me as well. But
I might go on Pistons Twitter today and just start swearing at people.
I do like what Easy said, because I keep forgetting to say this. Don't worry about I'm not too worried about trading him right before the deadline. Don't force a trade. If you have to wait till around draft time, there's going to be a team that feels like they're close enough where they want to trade for Jeremy. So at the end of the day, trade him. Timetable, we'll see what Troy Weaver does.
Trade him for sure, but he's got to have good games in order to trade him, because nobody's going to take him if he's got terrible games.
Very true.
So I at least want him to play well.
With Jeremy,
I prefer them to be entertaining. Yeah. Jeremy Grant has some nice moments. I won't totally knock him, but I'll pass.
Hard
pass. And look, he's a valuable player on a good to very good team. He could be a poor man's number 2 or a really good number 3.
Yep.
That's it. The Pistons are not winning basketball games right now. Move the hell on.
And to add to that, when they are finally winning games...
He'll be older than my dad.
And you're going to have to pay him, which we're not doing. So that's the point. You don't want to pay him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
People are like, but you need a piece like that when you want to win games. Yeah, in 2 years, Jeremy Grant, you're going to have to re-up his contract. Good luck with that. See if you still have a job after you pay him 4 years, $120 million. I'm not going to do that. So, sorry.
All right. Well, I do have one other takeaway from the game. I don't know if any of you guys saw the press conference from yesterday, but Anthony Edwards literally told reporters not to ask him questions until he was done placing his McDonald's order.
I love that. Anthony Edwards is a legend.
It was hilarious.
He is a legend. His press conferences actually make me laugh my ass off every time I see them. So shout out to Anthony Edwards. He plays well. Then he gets some Mickey D's after the game. So can't talk crap.
McChickens.
Yeah, McChickens. I can't talk crap to the guy.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, we got to go to break. When we come back, the Jacksonville Jaguars have named their head coach. But first, we need to talk about Cintron.
Yeah, guys. Well, you see what I'm drinking over here. Absolutely delicious. Let me just real quickly. All right. Cintron. Cintron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners in Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice. Go online right now to cintronworld.com. Use the promo code RedWings10 and save 10% with shipping included. Remember, drink it, live it with Cintron.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Doug Pederson is officially named the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. What do you guys think?
Good move, because the GM probably leaves in a year and a half, 2 years. And I am absolutely terrified for Trevor Lawrence.
Me too.
I think Pederson's a good coach, so I have to get that out there. And out of everybody who's had one NFL head coaching gig that deserved a gig or another opportunity, it was the guy that won a Super Bowl against Bill Belichick with Nick Foles as his quarterback. I am not even upset that Doug Pederson got a second chance. And honestly, I don't think it's that bad of a fit in terms of him and Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence is mobile. He can run RPOs. I think you could manipulate that offense in a way where you can kind of get a little bit of, Philly special vibes back in the day. Having said that,
Carson Wentz and
the GM is clearly a power monger.
There you go, yeah.
And I'm not confident right now in the front office and the ownership. Pederson's a good coach. That is not a bad hire. I get Leftwich was the guy, and I was all for it. But when you're trying to get hired as a head coach in the NFL and you say, yeah, the GM needs to walk or I'm not going to take the job, well, good luck getting a job. Seriously. Oh, I don't want to work with Trent Baalke. Honestly, that's not even an option you have. You're not the one cutting the the compensation package for Trent Baalke. And he's got the number 1 overall pick. So they'll probably go a lineman, get their version of Lane Johnson, or at least they hope they will. And they'll build the offense from there. And they're going to need to add one more wide receiver. Probably a more respectable tight end. James Robinson, actually use him in the run game. Establish the run.
We'll have Travis Etienne back.
Travis Etienne will be back. That'll be a feature back. People will love him for fantasy football because of his ability to catch out of the backfield. That will help so much. And then, of course, you got to go to the defensive side of the ball. Can they build around Myles Jack?
They got.
Can
Josh
they build
Allen.
around Josh Allen?
They got some studs.
And they have pieces. They're not the worst roster in the NFL. They were the worst coached. And honestly, Baalke again, like you're playing with fire right now. You brought in Doug Pederson. I'm not even mad about that, to be honest. I think it's a good hire. Like when you tell me Doug Pederson, forget the Super Bowl. The guy turned around the Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, they made a magical run, whatever. You want to discredit it, that's fine. I don't care. You do you. He won a Super Bowl. He won playoff games. He's won the division. But beyond that, when he got fired, it was essentially, quote-unquote, a tank job. And I think it wasn't a fit anymore in Philly. He didn't seem like a guy I can keep around for 10, 15, 20 years, like a Belichick, like a McVay, like an Andy Reid. That didn't feel like it. It wasn't right. So he's available. He doesn't get hired for years. Nobody says a word.
Yeah.
Why doesn't this guy have a job? Why doesn't he have a job? Here we go. Are any of you shocked? Honestly. Is anybody offended that he got the job? Am I disappointed it wasn't Byron Leftwich? Yeah. But when you look at the details, I don't want the GM there. Good luck getting the job. Good luck convincing the owner Khan that, hey, fire your GM and I'm the right guy. Really? Like, come on. That is a bit much. It's a bit much. And again, if you're the head coach, your job is to work with the GM on players that fit your scheme. And his job is to get them for you. And your job is to get those players and put out a winning product. The GM and the head coach go hand in hand so often. Jeff, I think they made a good hire. I'm not going to say it's the right hire or the perfect hire, but that could be disproven easily. I think Jacksonville could turn it around in 2 years with Pederson.
I think you said it perfectly. I think it's a good hire. Super Bowl, obviously, winner. But in Philly with Doug Pederson, did a great job developing Carson Wentz, of course. Also gave up on Carson Wentz, but that's a whole nother story. That's just Carson Wentz. To move on with Doug Pederson now with the Jacksonville Jaguars, he's walking into a situation that needs a culture change, especially with Trevor Lawrence. You need the right coach for him, and that's why my pick was Byron Leftwich. It would have been a great guy to mentor Trevor Lawrence, a guy who coached Tom Brady the last 2 years. And even before then, he's been an excellent offensive coordinator. But the reality is, he didn't want to work with Trent Baalke, and that's the problem. Not that I have. Baalke, remember that? Yeah. No, Trent Baalke. And that's the problem. Wanted Adrian Wilson, and those two have history dating back to when Bruce Arians was on the Arizona Cardinals. But you know what? Good for Byron Leftwich. Hopefully he gets a job like the Saints. Hopefully he gets a different job somewhere where an organization, maybe a more better of a culture he's walking into. But with Doug Pederson, I'm not going to sit up here and say he's a horrible coach. I mean, he has a little bit of that Jim Caldwell effect. The difference is he won playoff games his 4 years, 7-9 his first year, 13-3 his second year, and then 9-7, 9-7, 4-11. So. But he won playoff games, and he won a Super Bowl. So the guy, obviously, in the playoffs come postseason, he's an excellent coach. I mean, I don't know if this is going to make Jacksonville a contender over the next couple of years, but I think he's a suitable coach.
You know what's
probably
funny?
The best hire besides Rich Bisaccia.
Do you know what's funny, Jeff?
What's up?
I'm so glad you brought that up. The New York Giants, what do we remember them for? The magical Super Bowl runs, right?
Super Bowls.
9-7, 10-6, 9-7, 8-8, whatever it was. And they got in and they made their runs, right? The Eagles were 13-3. Carson Wentz was playing 2 games away before he got hurt of being the MVP of the NFL.
Yep.
He goes down. Nick Foles comes in. Super Bowl run. They were a 13-3 football team. They weren't scrubs. And here they are, 9-7, 9-7. Whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day,
You're still winning playoff games, though. I mean, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, look, Kaylin, I totally disagree with your comment. I'm not sure if Leftwich is head coach material. He's a good coordinator. Not sure if he's a leader of men.
I disagree.
Byron Leftwich played quarterback in the NFL. You could not play quarterback in the NFL for the amount of time he did at the success and have the success he had if you if you weren't a leader of men. Fish, you're distracting the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to kill you one of these days. Anyways.
It's the lack of coffee.
I'm trying to remember the 13-3 year. Did they make a Super Bowl run, or was it the following year? Where they were 9-7, correct?
13-3.
They were bounced out immediately, and then they followed it up again with Wentz getting hurt towards the end of the year, 9-7, I believe.
Because the 13-3 years when Wentz was hurt, because he was on track to win MVP that year because of the record.
He came back the next year, and then he got hurt again.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, got my timeline messed up.
Pretty close.
Excuse me, everybody. But anyways. Fish, seriously, I'm going to kill you one of these days.
I've heard that for a long time, so I'm prepared.
He's going to be working homicide in Detroit, and I'm going to show up on the news arrested. And be Adam, what do you have to say to yourself? He had it coming. He had it coming.
That's fine.
The downfall of the Morning Woodward Show.
Started with a crazy son of a problems.
Bye. Can you wait 2 weeks? Can you wait 2 weeks to kill me?
What?
Why 2 weeks?
What do you need 2 weeks
Because the Olympics is over.
He's putting in his 2 weeks. That's what he's saying.
The Olympics is only 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
I always felt like longer. I'm not even going to watch it this year.
Yeah,
I'm boycotting it.
I figured you would.
Where is it this year, Fish?
It's in Beijing, China.
Oh, yeah, definitely boycotting
I figured you'd boycott it. You boycott everything. You know what?
Hell
Fine.
yeah.
Boycott it. Be my guest.
I'll boycott China, North Korea, Australia.
Boycott it. But you missed the Great Australian Open, so screw you. That's fine. I don't really... I mean... You know, what are you
Fish
gonna do?
got all mad at us this morning because the opening ceremony was playing and we didn't clap when US was on.
Yeah, like, what's going on? US comes out, everyone just like...
You like pity clapped.
It's 7:45 in the morning when you're asking them to do that. What do you want from them? These people have just woken up. They're now at work. What do you want?
This is the morning show, so if you want to be on the morning show, you probably should have adjusted your schedules to be able to work at early morning hours. There's people at the news desk. We actually have someone. His name is Ryan Armani.
Does an absolute great job.
And he knows, he's working at 4:30. He's going to have to adjust his schedule so that he can make it to 4:30 news or whatever time he goes to news.
All right, we got to get back to Byron Leftwich here. Because you were making a great point. You were making a great point before you said about being a leader of men, being a former quarterback.
Byron Leftwich is obviously a leader of men. He played the quarterback position for the longest time.
Yeah.
And he was actually pretty good. Now, he wasn't great, but you don't need to be great. He was pretty good. And he's a good offensive coordinator in Tampa. They've had one of, if not the best offense since Tom Brady showed up.
Yep.
And may I remind you, he was there for the 9-7 year, correct? Or the 8-8 year under Jameis Winston?
Mm-hmm.
He was the OC. Didn't Jameis Winston have a career year? Except his problem was he threw at 30 interceptions. And we all laughed that offseason and we said, you know, they're a quarterback away from being a really good team. And what did they do? They get Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. The rest is history.
His first year was in that year with Jameis Winston. His first year as an offensive coordinator.
And he had his best year under Byron Leftwich.
In Tampa, correction. But yeah.
Yes, I'm referring to the Tampa year.
Yeah. Yep.
And then in comes Tom Brady in the other 2 years. He's been an OC now for 3 years. He's qualified. And again, if you want to play the game of, well, this is the GM, I don't agree with him. Well, you know what? Then you're not a fit for that job. If we were trying to hire a third person for the morning show, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they came in and they interviewed. And they had all the talent in the world. They could talk their sports. They were funny. They were attractive, whatever it may be. But they wouldn't get along with Fish, with Jeff, with Maddy. Or they couldn't work. Or they would disagree too often on how to go about prepping for the show, what we were talking about. You think that's the right fit for them or for us? No. So why the hell should we hire them? Sorry. I'm not going to be up in arms about Brian Leftwich not getting the job.
Yeah.
Doug Pederson, good hire. If Leftwich wanted that amount of control, good luck, buddy. This is your first head coaching gig. You kind of don't have much pull.
But I like his self-awareness a little bit. Like him going into
in terms of bulky or wanting that kind of control.
Understanding the situation. Like, listen, if I'm going to go in and work with bulky, I can already foresee this not working out. So he pitched Adrian Wilson. They kept bulky, and they're going to hire Doug Pederson. Byron's going to get a job eventually. I mean, this is a guy, offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers the last 3 years. He's been the highest top 3 in points. So that's the highest. He was 3-3-2. So he's going to get a job. It's just a matter of when and hope. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise for him. Maybe he goes to a better organization. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. I mean, if you're asking to get the GM fired, it's not going to happen. But I respect his balls because if I'm a coach, I'm going to be like, listen.
Yeah, but again, you know what? You've now publicly put it out there that I am a difficult interview, and I have expectations. That's not a bad thing. Look, I love strong-minded people. You need them. But again, as a GM, let's say I'm a new GM. If you're going to come in and tell me I want 1, 2, 3, 4, and I need this from you, that's fine. That's fine. But man, this is going to be your first gig too. How about, hey, this is how we can work together. I'll give you this. You give me leeway here. We'll compensate. Relationships are all about give and take. And that's what the GM and head coach roles are, give and take. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have that, good luck having a successful relationship, let alone a winning one. I find it extremely difficult to believe that the Byron Leftwich deal, him not getting hired, was that race-based? Again, we're going to have this conversation so often now because of the Brian Flores deal. I don't believe the Leftwich case is, in fact, anywhere remotely close to that.
And Pistons fan brought up a great point. I just want to point this out. I don't think Leftwich wants his GM anywhere he goes. Like, if he were to get hired by the Saints, I don't think he would look at the Saints and be like, get your GM out. I want Adrian Wilson. You think that was just
I think it was a bulky situation.
Okay.
I don't mind that. I don't mind it being an isolated situation in Jacksonville. But again, don't cry to me that you don't have a job as a head coach in the NFL. Don't. And it's Byron Leftwich has every right as a successful offensive coordinator in the NFL to say, you know what, I'm going back to Tampa for one more year. I want my options to look a little different this time next year. And I believe people will pursue him next year. And who knows, maybe Bruce Arians moves on.
I was just going to say, maybe he takes over in Tampa.
You never know. Yep. You never know. It's not a bad thing to know what you want. It's good to be self-aware. But these are one of 32 jobs. And if you're going to get caught up on this specific GM, that's fine. Go take the job in New Orleans. Byron, go interview in Houston. Go interview in Houston. I have the hiccups right now. What the hell is this? Go interview in Houston. Go interview in Miami. That's, again, if I'm Byron Leftwich, Jacksonville was the right fit. I get Trevor Lawrence. I'll make it work. But if the GM is a pushover and he's too much to handle, yeah, I'm self-aware to know, all right, I'm probably already behind the 8 ball. I might not succeed in this situation. It's totally okay to have options and know what situation is good for you. You have earned the right to pick a situation, but you are not allowed to complain that they don't have jobs as head coaches. Because now we're seeing up-and-coming black assistant coaches, coordinators, that are successful, that will have options going forward. Now, before the lawsuit, obviously, with Brian Flores, I think he had options. And Don Burr, I hate you because you're drinking coffee and I'm not. And I hope you know that our relationship will never be the same after this. And I was really banking on Byron Leftwich getting the job. That way I could drink coffee. But here we are. I may not drink coffee till February of next year.
That's what I said. You should have listened to me.
As much as I would love the Saints to hire, I mean, they're probably going to get Dennis Allen. They're probably going to bring in someone from within their organization. But I would love a Byron Leftwich or a Brian Flores for the New Orleans Saints. But at the end of the day, I don't know. How many more job openings? We got Miami?
Miami, Saints. New Orleans, and Houston. Ugh. Who wants those jobs? I don't.
No one.
Yeah. If I'm a successful coordinator, I look at the Saints job and I say, look, good organization, good front office. What are my guarantees? Because I'm losing the first year and a half, 2 years with this football team.
Very true. And you got to think about that.
We don't have a quarterback. How are we getting one? We're picking in the middle of the first round. Kenny Pickett won't be there. This isn't even the class to do it. Do we basically, quote unquote, lose a lot of games this year, tank, and try to get a C.J. Stroud, try to get a Bryce Young? And then we need to figure out our salary cap issues that we have $70 million, I believe.
Yeah, they're way over the cap.
So you're going to have to trade or cut a Michael Thomas, an Alvin Kamara. All bye-bye. Marshawn Lattimore. Goodbye. If I'm taking the New Orleans job, I need guarantees that I'm not the stopgap coach. And if I am, I'm not interested. Go find somebody else. Go promote from within. I'm not going to go to a situation where I can't turn it around and win.
And then Miami and Houston, ownership-wise,
same thing.
I'll pass.
Who wants to work for Stephen Ross right now out in Miami?
Who wants to go to that church in Houston?
And who wants to go to Houston where you don't even know if you're going to have a quarterback?
Yeah. Looking for Jesus for advice.
Maddy,
I'll pass on that.
Top of the hour. Got to go to break. When do we get back? What's next for Michigan football? I'm excited.
We'll talk about that when we come back, but first I need to hear about Guardian Alarm.
Well, we talked about Aaron Glenn and such a great job he's doing, and we're going to bring him Guardian Alarm, of course. Guardian Alarm, they get it. Good defense on and off the field. It helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide, and will even let you lock and unlock doors. Call 800-STAY-OUT today. You hear fish in the booth. It's 800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Everything that we've hoped for finally.
He's going deep.
Right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Guys, Jim Harbaugh is staying in Michigan. What is next for that Michigan? What in the world? You can't just do that.
Why? It wasn't on camera. Maddy, don't call me out. All right, so for all of you at home, if you're curious, I just had like a huge yawn, obviously. No coffee. It's tough for me this morning.
Hiccups.
I'm doing the best I can do. I have hiccups. It's ridiculous.
It's weird.
It's ridiculous what I have to deal with this morning. So Maddy's introing the next segment. And I basically reenact that I'm doing a line of coke. I thought it was funny. God. Clearly, Maddy did too. So at least somebody here thinks I'm funny.
I think you're
what's
funny.
next for Michigan football? I'll tell you what's next. 2 objectives. Win 10 games, beat Michigan State. Oh, 3 actually. Start J.J. McCarthy. Let's not forget that.
That should be the easy one.
Cade McNamara with a stacked Michigan football team. You saw the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
That defense won't be the same. The offense won't be the same. Give me J.J. McCarthy. Michigan, what is next for them? Build off of the Big Ten championship and take NIL seriously, hopefully in the coming years, and try to build an actual program that can win big games for a sustainable amount of time. Not just, oh, we beat Ohio State for the first time in 10 seasons. Yay!
Do better.
You're better than that. You are better than that. And you can be better than that. Build off of this Big Ten title. Build off of this win against Ohio State. And look, you don't have to beat them in Columbus, but you better not lose to Michigan State in the Big House this year.
No.
That is a thing.
No.
That is a thing. You cannot lose 3 straight to Mel Tucker. That is bad optics across the board. And unless you run the table and only lose to MSU and Ohio State, it's still going to be a tough ask to get people to believe in you. You have to build off of this. Beat Michigan State. Win 10, 11 games. Play a close game against Ohio State. Win, lose, don't care. And if that means you get back to the Big Ten title game, great. I won't complain about it. J.J. McCarthy better be the starter. Donovan Edwards better be the feature back along with Blake Corum. You will not have the same edge rush you had last year, so you better be extremely efficient on offense. That is a thing.
Yep.
You won't be able to throw a 3-yard underneath route to Eric All and expect to win a game.
You're not going to be able to destroy C.J. Stroud's day with that pass rush.
Good luck. I think Ohio State are clearly the favorites in the Big Ten going into next year. But again, Michigan, I need you to take advantage of what you just accomplished, which is a big deal, and take the right steps to build on it. Harbaugh's here now. Speculation done and over with. NIL, academic standards. Let's get this program to the next level. Michigan State's committed to it. Ohio State has been committed to it.
Yep.
Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Clemson, they're all committed to it.
Right.
It's time you commit. That's what's next for Michigan. Jeff?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think if you look at Michigan last year, the success they had, Jim obviously feeling that was a great season to come off of and kind of have his interest back in the NFL, which I think he still does. Obviously didn't get the Minnesota job. What are my expectations for Michigan this year? Number one, and I only have really one, and it's beat Michigan State. I mean, you're going to be in the Big House this year. You can't lose that game. You can't. Are they going to beat Ohio State? Probably not, because they're losing all the playmakers that were so key in that last year's game. Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo. They're losing some secondary guys. Defensively, it's going to be issues. And I love Matt's comment. Find a defensive coordinator under 60 years old. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. You lost Mike McDonald, a big, very important piece to making that defense click. So they're going to have to find a couple things to fill some holes on this team. But overall, this year, are they going to get back to the college football playoff? Probably not. Will they have a chance to get back in the Big Ten title game? Maybe. And I think if they do, Ohio State whoops their ass, because last year Ohio State's constantly adding talent. That's the difference. You have a team in Michigan who's already technically behind the 8 ball in terms of the NIL, and if you fall 0-3 to Mel Tucker, who's one hell of a recruiter himself, Michigan very well could be the 3rd best team in the Big Ten in terms of recruiting. Like you have obviously Ohio State. Mel Tucker's doing his work in the South. He's already getting transfers from Georgia, doing work. Jim Harbaugh kind of late with this comeback to Michigan. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, the no-brainer decision should be J.J. McCarthy. Like, not even looking at this team isn't as stacked as it is last year. You don't need a game manager. You need a guy who's mobile, can run out of the pocket, make plays unscripted, and that's J.J. McCarthy. The guy is a cannon. You can use his legs. You're losing Hassan Haskins and a lot of those offensive linemen. So, Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, you're going to – I mean, this team this year, no excuses why you can't win 8 to 10 games and still beat Michigan State. So that's my expectations. Beating Ohio State, I think I agree with you. Your lock of the year, they're not beating Ohio State this year, and that's just a factual statement.
It's going to be impossible to beat
hard,
Ohio
man.
State. Jesus Christ. In the Rose Bowl, they were missing, I believe, Olave and Garrett Wilson.
And
their 2 best receivers. And I could argue they may not be their 2 best receivers because of
Jackson
Smith and Jimba.
Yeah.
And Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
Holy hell. Not just Michigan. Any team. Good luck with Ohio State next year. They are going to be insufferable how good they're going to be. They're going to get a sophomore C.J. Stroud. They're going to get Smith and Jemba, who will be draft eligible, along with Marvin Harrison Jr., who will likely be a lot better than what he was this year. And he was the number 4 option on this team. He's the number 1 rated coming out of high school.
Yeah.
All these guys were number 1 coming out of high school. It's unbelievable. Ohio State is running the table.
Yeah, defensively, I'm a little worried, but
I mean, you have to be. Mike McDonald's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Michigan again. Retool time. Time to pick it back up. Mike McDonald's back in the NFL. Learn something from that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you think you're going to be Ohio State consistently by playing that good of defense, the ability to run the ball the way you did that November day in the cold, snowy weather, if you think that's going to happen consistently, you're delusional. If you think you can beat Ohio State by getting 15 quarterback pressures from one individual player, good luck.
Yeah.
You'll go another 10 years without beating him. It's time to take the next step. Alabama, are they now are they now the Mark Ingram Alabama, the Derrick Henry Alabama? Or are they now the quarterback-driven Alabama that delivers Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, now Bryce Young?
in his junior year,
Come on.
coming off a Heisman win.
Even Alabama
Yeah.
is going away from their original roots and catching up to the game. And yes, they have better talent, of course. I won't deny that. But Michigan, wake the hell up. I think this building is on fire or something. NIL money. Better recruiting. You had a top 10 recruiting class this year. Start J.J. McCarthy. I swear, if Cade McNamara is the starting quarterback, upcoming season, I will head up to Ann Arbor myself, and I will kidnap him, and I will not release him as a hostage until after the Ohio State game. Can I get arrested for that?
He goes, yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
you can. Well, listen. Yeah, that with J.J. McCarthy, if he doesn't start, I'm assuming he transfers, right, Adam? Like, you're a sophomore at this point. You have one more year after this of eligibility, really, till you get to the NFL. I would get the hell out of there if I'm J.J. McCarthy. So I think he starts. But if he does start, why didn't Cade transfer? The guy had 15 touchdown passes last year. If he doesn't start this year, you think he's getting drafted? No. So I don't get what's going on in the quarterback room. I'm assuming it's an easy decision in J.J. McCarthy, but I don't know. Obviously, I'm not in that locker room, but we'll see what happens. I don't think there's a chance in hell Cade starts, but if there is, can't wait to talk about it. Because we're going to tear some people's asses apart.
Man, you know, if somebody ever took me to trial, I'd be in a lot of trouble from all the stuff I've said on this show.
Yeah, you have a lot of evidence.
I've made a lot of threats.
Clip it.
Fish testifies.
I've threatened Fish.
Fish is like
I've
Adam's
threatened
son.
Cade
Fish
McNamara
would
multiple
throw you
times.
under the bus so fast.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
No,
Fish
so
is a
fast.
snitch, 100%. You wouldn't even have to interrogate Fish. You would just have to bring him in the room, bring him some Australian cuisine, and he will tell you everything.
Put the
Not even
Olympics
sit
on.
him down and just say, Adam Baydoun. And he'd be like, oh, let me tell you.
Murderer.
I mean, it would definitely depend.
Fish, if they put some tennis on, you'd definitely be persuaded.
Fish, if they gave you tickets to the Australian Open, would you snitch on me?
Flight included.
It's okay.
Flight
if it's yes.
included.
I just want to hear the truth.
Oh, that's tough.
If they gave you tickets to the Australian Open and an all-expense-paid trip to North Korea, would you do it?
Ooh, that's definitely something. Ooh.
The fact that it's even taking you this much to say yes.
I know he would say yes. He just won't say it.
If you think about it,
no, it's definitely to the top. I don't want to snitch on. I don't think I ever would snitch on you. At least I hope not.
Just depends on the asking price.
As much as you do want to kill me and shank me and put me in certain places of the world and have me eaten by animals.
Oh my God. No, he wanted you to be beat up by a kangaroo, right?
Something like
there's
that.
eaten by a kangaroo.
It's a long-standing, frustrating relationship with fish.
Eaten by a snake in the Amazon rainforest.
Absolutely.
Eaten by a whale in the ocean.
We don't need to throw everything out there. We need to go to break. All right, so maybe the Kate McNamara idea isn't the best idea I've come up with. All right, I'll admit it. But I still think somebody's got to do the dirty work to get shit done in the state. So anyways.
Oh, my God.
We got to go to break. When we get back, Jimmy Haslam fires back at Hue Jackson. Wow. Isn't
throwing shots.
Drama everywhere. Elway shooting back at Brian Flores. Now Haslam shooting back at Hue Jackson, who actually took money, mind you. Oh, man. I can't wait for this.
Yes. We all are going to need a drink for this one. So you know what we're talking about, that Gypsy vodka.
All right, guys. Gypsy vodka, the smoothest tasting vodka on the market. Locally operated and owned in Michigan, and not only in Michigan, guys, Petoskey, Michigan. They do a great job. Owners Mike and Adam, Michigan State alumni, local Michigan family. Guys, check them out. Gypsy Vodka. Ask for it by the name of Gypsy wherever you may drink. And as always, please drink responsibly.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live. All right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're unloading all the drama this morning. Jimmy Haslam is fired back at Hue Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So I'll quote what he said. He said, Hue Jackson has never, ever accepted any responsibility for our record during that time period. And to paraphrase what he went on to say, I've accepted that responsibility clearly because I am the owner of this football team. Apparently, obviously it's not tough to figure out. He is the owner. He takes responsibility for the losses, et cetera, but he is very adamant that Hue Jackson hasn't. And that is his biggest problem. And you know what, to be honest, I kind of side with Jimmy Haslam on this one. Hue Jackson was the biggest whiner during his time in Cleveland. Everything was everybody else's fault. This dude actually walked up to the #1 overall pick and said, congratulations, you've won the starting backup role. You are the official #1 backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. The #1 overall pick. I don't even like Baker Mayfield. You have to be a goddamn idiot to go up and do that. He did it on Hard Knocks. That's why Hue Jackson will never ever coach in the NFL. 1-31 as a coach, and he accepted payment to lose games. Are you kidding me? You have the nerve to come out and say, well, yeah, owners pay, but I took the money. So, you can't. I mean, I don't even know what to say this morning, Jeff, about Hue Jackson. I think it's hilarious, and I'm siding with Jimmy Haslam on this. I don't know about you.
It's tough because both sides, listen, Jimmy Haslam came out with a statement. Yeah, like you said, Hue Jackson has never accepted any responsibility for our record during that time period. He's been masterful at pointing fingers, but has never accepted any blame. I have accepted a ton of blame, and rightfully so. There are things I could have done better. Hue has never accepted blame for one thing. And then you go back to Hue's comments. It's kind of back and forth here. He said, she said, especially with Hue Jackson. I want to believe, especially with Brian Flores coming out and in his truth, I believe Brian Flores absolutely. Just so much random noise going on. But
guys, I can't explain to you what's happening. Basically, the fire alarm in the building's going off, and at the same time,
Lights are flickering.
It looks like the whole building is shaking. I don't know. Maybe Godzilla lives under here. Who knows?
This is karma.
All right.
This is karma for me.
You know why it's karma? Because you guys didn't cheer when USA walked out this morning.
I swear
there you go.
I will kill you. I will.
I know, and I'm prepared for that. That's why I'm getting my words out now before I don't exist.
All right, Chuck.
Continuing the point with Hue Jackson, his side of the story, this is Jimmy Haslam on it. Hue Jackson was never paid to lose games. That is an absolute falsehood, and it is an absolute falsehood that I laughed while we were losing. Most people who know me would say that is not how Jimmy would react to losing. Now, I don't really take too much into that. I think the problem is
who's telling you the truth?
That's
Where
the problem.
Are the bank statements?
That's the problem.
Show me the bank statements. Payments made out to Hue Jackson or whatever his charity is from the Cleveland Browns or Jimmy Haslam. I want evidence. I don't want talk.
There's too much
It's
talking.
all talk, zero evidence.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Brian Flores deal. Big deal, right? But what can you prove in the court of law? Two different things.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Nothing's going to come true to this situation unless something comes forward. Like Stephen Ross, Brian Flores, he paid me to lose. He offered to pay me. Stephen Ross, I have no idea what you're talking about. Those are
Hue
false
Jackson,
claims.
if you were dumb enough to actually accept payment to lose, you should never be a coach in the NFL. For me as a player, if my head coach was deliberately losing games to his benefit and at my expense as a player, who I'm trying to get maybe my next contract, I'm trying to see more playing time on the field, or I'm not being used correctly, so my value as a wide receiver, quarterback, lineman, safety is zero or less than what it can be. That is the ultimate scum of the earth.
Yeah. He's tanking not only everybody's careers, but he's taking money from everybody in the city that goes to those games and that has season tickets. So I don't know.
I think it's so disgusting. And look, if Jimmy Haslam, I want receipts. I don't want talk anymore.
Yeah.
Hue Jackson, show me the checks. Show me the deposits. Show me the bank statements. Give me something. But even if you did, to be honest with you, Jim, or excuse me, Hugh, you're still a scum for accepting it. Yeah. And that's why you'll never be a head coach in the NFL anymore. Why doesn't Hue Jackson have a job? Nobody talks about Hue Jackson getting another job.
Yeah.
Just tell me, who are the coaches you feel that have been successful that haven't gotten a second chance? Doug Pederson. Oh, he just got one. Anyone else off the top of the head? Jim Caldwell? That's success? Really? Jim Caldwell's a successful coach. That's what you're going to tell me. Who else? That's it.
Yeah, really.
There's nobody. All the good coaches have gotten second opportunities. All the average to poor coaches have even gotten opportunities or second chances. Stop this nonsense.
Like, especially when Hue Jackson comes out, this is what he said. He said he earned bonuses in the 2016 and 2017 season if the Browns hit goals like being the youngest team in the NFL and accumulating draft picks. And then obviously it says
what does that mean?
So basically,
because I'm sure that's in any coach's contract. So were you paid to lose games or were you not, you piece of you-know-what?
Or were you paid to have the youngest team and accumulate draft picks? Which, I mean, I
would love to be paid to have one of the youngest teams in the NFL. That is not a bad thing. You can have one of the younger teams in the NFL and have a good 8 to 12, 14 veterans on the team. That is not hard to do. And that's the GM's job anyways. Hue Jackson's an idiot. If I could punch him in the face, I would.
And you know what Jimmy said, which was so savage? I just had to read this real quick.
What?
His third year, this is him quote, and I quote, Hugh's third year, when our roster began to pretty dramatically improve, the 8 games he coached were 2-5-1. He said after Hue was dismissed, we went 5-3.
Yes, and that was Freddie Kitchens. And what was their mistake after? They actually hired Freddie Kitchens. But they learned from that mistake, and then they brought in Stefanski, and it's been okay since.
Right.
They did win a playoff game. They've made the playoffs once. They had a down year last year. Baker hurt. The running backs hurt. The whole team hurt, really. But regardless, yes, Hugh, that's why you suck. That's why you don't have a job. And that's why you'll never have a job in the NFL. Hell, you'll never get another interview. If I had to get fined $1 million for not obeying or following the Rooney rules because I had to interview Hue Jackson, I wouldn't do it. I would pay the $1 million. Hell, I would pay $10 million to not interview Hue Jackson. That's what I think of it.
Based on just his coaching, I mean, what you've seen. He had 1 year with the Raiders. He was 8-8. And then he went to the Browns and obviously Cincinnati, and the rest is history. So
I would just look again, man. There's some people, man, in life you come across, they're just delusional. And they're delusional to the point where you can't even help them. And I'm not talking just for your benefit or their benefit. I mean, we're talking a serious issue, being able to comprehend and understand what the problems actually were at any given time. Hue Jackson, if you don't think you were part of the problem in Cleveland, I can't help you. If you can't admit that maybe, you know what, I wasn't listening enough. I didn't live up to expectations. I didn't do enough. I didn't put in enough. Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is so important. And if you want to come out and play the blame game, no one will ever take you seriously. There's only one person you can always blame for anything in your life that will always be there. It is the person looking at you in the mirror.
Yep.
You start there. And if you start there and you figure it out and you figure yourself out and you master your own brain, you will be set for life.
Mm-hmm.
Hue Jackson, F off.
Yeah.
We got to go to break, Maddie. Yes. When we get back, falling in love. I think somebody's falling in love. Could be Fish. Could be Jeff. Who knows? Somebody's falling in love with Malik Willis. We'll get to that after the break. But Maddie, what do we got first?
We got to talk about MyBookie.
MyBookie, everybody, the place to place your bets this football season. One game left, the Super Bowl. Don't miss out. Individual prop bets, game bets, first quarter spread lines, halftime, total points, over, under, whatever it may be. You can bet on it at MyBookie. Bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. And make sure you sign up today if you haven't already using code Woodward. They'll match you dollar for dollar. You put in $100, they'll match you $100. You're a big roller, put in $500, they'll match you with $500. Guys, MyBookie is the place to be. Again, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime. Everybody, yeah, everybody, yeah. Take it up to the top, let the body never stop. Make it loud, make it real, let them know that we're here with everybody. Yeah, everybody.
Go! Detroit Sports on Demand.
DeAndre Swift, he's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. Open in the corner, he tripled.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app today. Take us with you everywhere you go. Search Woodward Sports Network or WSN Live.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Guys, are you in love?
I'm not in love yet. And there's a good question in the chat from Wasim to me and Jeff. Adam and Jeff, do you guys ever see yourself changing your mind on Willis if he plays great at the Senior Bowl and does well at the Combine? I just think given the Lions situation, it's tough for me to fall in love with a quarterback in this class. I am paying Jared Goff $30 million. Now, if I cut him after June 1st, I save $26 million. Sure. And again, that cap is already being wasted this year, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, theoretically, I could move on from Jared Goff and draft a rookie quarterback. But is this the year to do it? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll put it this way, Wasim. I will not take him at number 2 overall. That is a fact. And I don't care what happens after that. Take an edge rusher, number 2 overall. It's that simple. Or trade back and grab Hamilton if you want. I don't care at this point. What I do care about is not selecting a quarterback number 2 overall. And again, is it all smoke and mirrors and Brad Holmes is trying to build value for the number 2 overall pick? Yeah, that could be a thing. But think about it this way, guys. If you at home kind of have that suspicion or theory, the hell you think teams and scouts and GMs are doing every day?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's not act like this is some merry-go-round game that you can play. Anybody can play. No. Having said that, look, Malik Willis, he's been entertaining. Arm talent, successful, huge arm talent.
Yeah.
Scott Bischoff was on the show the other day on Big D Energy discussing it. The kid's got talent. There's no denying it. And again, if Brad Holmes wants to take a flyer on Malik Willis, I have no problem with that.
Because it's Brad Holmes.
I have no problem with that.
I trust him.
Having said that, I have a problem with it at number 2. I do.
Me too.
But now, of course, you can use the argument, well, Adam, if he's the next Patrick Mahomes, well, do you care if you draft him at 2 or 14 or 20? No. Hindsight. But do you think he's the next Patrick Mahomes? Lamar Jackson? Do you believe he has that ceiling? I didn't hear a word from the Kansas City Chiefs or the Houston Texans the year they drafted their quarterbacks. You know why? They did not want anyone to know who they liked. Could be Malik Willis. Could be Malik Willis. I am not opposed to the Lions taking any quarterback this year. I just don't think it's the right fit this season.
Mm-hmm.
Next year's class feels like it's a really strong one. And remember, going into the college football season, you had 2 Heisman favorites who fluttered out. DJ, I don't know how to say his last name, from Clemson.
Ukulele.
Thank you, Jeff. That was impressive. And then, of course, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what next season's class could be. The guys you think that are going to be great may not even be the number 1 quarterbacks going into the draft next year.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Jared Goff showed me enough, not only in his time in L.A., but his final 4 starts for Detroit, where I can say, you know what? You can at least play good football with him. How about, I don't know, maybe we upgrade the defense that overachieved, even though it finished 31st and 32nd across the board in rankings? But it felt like they overachieved because they kept you in games when your offense was pathetic. So yes, edge rusher, linebacker, wide receiver, kind of important. Jared Goff has shown you can win divisions with him. You can win playoff games. Is he that same quarterback under McVay that he will be in Detroit? I don't think so. But you're paying him too much money not to find out. And again, unless you believe Malik Willis is that next the guy, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Stafford, Murray, etc., you don't take a quarterback this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's that simple. And only the Lions will know. I can give you my opinion all day. It won't matter. They're making the decision. So yes, if the Lions trade up somehow in the draft and take him at 11, 14, 18, whatever it may be, will I come on the show on that Friday and, oh my God, what are we doing? No. They will have my support. Brad Holmes has earned that right. He's earned that right in the draft. Having said that, I also have to keep into consideration John Dorsey is a part of this front office. And that makes me feel a little better when they say they're all in on a quarterback.
Yep.
Because he was all in on Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Not a bad front office group to bet against right now. I'm not totally against it. I wouldn't do it right now.
Yeah.
I could change my mind by March. Who knows? But right now, it's a no for me.
And I would tend to lean that way as well. Listen, let's get this straight. I trust the front office. You mentioned John Dorsey, Brad Holmes. Like it's nothing. It's not challenging those guys. I don't see Malik ain't going 2. So let's move to the next pick. You got a late first rounder, possibly last in the first round if the Rams win the Super Bowl. The reality is, do you see the Lions trading up from that first overall pick to grab a Malik Willis, trading up potentially 10 spots or so, even more than that? He's going to go probably top, I would assume top 20, considering how much the league's fallen in love with him. He's going to go somewhere in the teens. The Lions are going to have quite a hefty trade up, but they're going to want it. And you have multiple picks in that top 100 now. If you want Malik Willis that bad, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. And in my opinion, we hit on this yesterday. Brad Holmes, realistically, and most general managers as well, you got one chance to draft a quarterback.
Thank you.
And with Malik Willis, I like him. I think the talent's there. Obviously, you see the 4.3, whatever speed.
But doesn't this happen every year, Jeff?
It does. You fall in love with somebody.
We fall in love every single year with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Why, Jeff? It is the most important position in football.
You got to hit on it.
It is the most important position. And teams this year will reach for quarterbacks.
Yep.
I hope the Lions don't. Not necessary. Not this year. Not when you have one of, if not the easiest schedule in the NFL next year. You are not winning 2-3 games next year. You will not be in the C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young conversation. Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely whether Goff is your quarterback or if you even draft one. Load up the defense. Take care of the wide receiver position. You will have a very good football team next year. I could argue if Aaron Rodgers leaves, a team that could fight for the division. May not be the favorites, but I'm sorry.
With Jared Goff.
You give me an edge rusher.
Yep.
You give me help at the linebacker position.
Wide receivers.
You give me one explosive wide receiver to go along with Amon-Ra St. Brown, T.J. Hawkinson, a running back by committee backfield, DeAndre Swift catching passes, a great offensive line. And then I load up on defense for Aaron Glenn? Sorry, guys. You want to see it or not? Looks like a damn good football team next year to me.
And that's
and
the
I'm not
point.
saying a Super Bowl winning team.
Yep.
I'm not saying a division winning team or a team that maybe can win 2-3 playoff games. No. But what product you put out matters.
It does.
And how do you build a culture? By winning.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Mahomes was taken 10th. Watson was taken, I believe, what? 12, I believe?
Yeah, he was top 10.
I think it was 12 is the number. Allen, what? 8, 9? They're there. So they fall. You can get them. Malik Willis at 2 is a big stretch for me.
Yeah.
And if he is taken at number 2, I swear to God, if he's not the starting quarterback, I may lose my mind.
And if they trade up for him, you better...
You're not the Niners. You can't sit Trey Lance for a year.
And this is the difference. With Lamar Jackson and Trey Lance, what situations were they walking into? They were walking into a very different situation. They were ready to start on a team that was ready to contend for the playoffs right away. If you put Malik Willis on the Lions, I know people are saying sit for a year. So let's say he sits next year. Maybe you address more positions. Maybe it's a more talented team. I like sitting guys for a year. But again, it goes back to you have to trade up. You're going to have to trade up above a Washington, above a Pittsburgh, to even have a chance at a guy like Malik Willis or Sam Howell. So the question is, are you, as Lions fans, okay with Brad Holmes giving away draft capital in the first year in which our team is supposed to address multiple positions to get a Malik Willis? So just buyers beware.
My question for the
Buyers
Malik
beware.
Willis people, my question to you is, when you take a guy number 2 overall, the Niners are the exception. They can do that because they have a roster, they have a quarterback.
Yep.
You do have a quarterback, you don't have that roster, and
Nope.
you don't have that coach, excuse me. Kyle Shanahan is not your coach. Can Dan Campbell become something like that? Maybe. We don't know yet. But you don't have that right now. To make that call at number 2 overall is too much for me. And what's special about him? He's barely over 6 foot. He's barely 6'1", I should say. Does he have the accuracy of a Drew Brees? No. Does he have the accuracy of a Russell Wilson? No. Can he escape the pocket and have pocket awareness like a Russell Wilson or a Lamar Jackson? Maybe. We don't know. So many questions, and you want to do that at number 2 overall? Detroit, you had your opportunity. You had the Tua Herbert class. You had the Burrow class. You decided to win extra games that year. You fell to what? Number 3 overall, I believe. It went Burrow, Young, and then you got Okudah instead of getting a guy like a Justin Herbert. You had your opportunity. It set you back 5 years. We're on the 5-year setback right now. Get comfortable.
Opinion on this comment in the chat. I just worry that the Lions are going to play themselves out of a position to draft a QB next year. That, to me, is the only reason to
Yes,
take a QB this
they
year.
will.
Yeah.
They will likely win 7, 8, 9 games next year.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want then? Tell me. As a Lions fan, all of you in the chat, tell me. I want to hear what you have to say. If Dan Campbell wins 2 games next year and you get the number 1 overall pick, are you happy? Or would you be more happy if they were 9 and 8 and they showed improvement and you had defensive studs? And you said, oh, wow, now we're a quarterback away.
Yeah.
Every team is a quarterback away, don't get me wrong. But if the quarterback isn't in this class, would you prefer to go 2 and 15 next year or 9 and 8? I want to know. I really want to know. I'm so curious because that is the problem. You want to build a culture, win games.
Yeah.
You have a guy like Brad Holmes, he can find somebody at 10, 12, 15, 18, 24. He'll take care of that. I'm not worried. Win games, Dan, is the best thing you can do. Having said that, yeah, you're 1 year short of having a top 3 pick. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And how many positions they got to fill?
Sometimes the NFL is all about luck. The Niners lost Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle. They were able to select number 3 overall. They got an edge rusher in Bosa. Sometimes you need luck. It's tough for me.
See?
In my opinion, right now, you take an edge rusher, And if you can trade back, great. If Hamilton's on the board, go for him. Or if he gets taken early and the edge rusher falls, you take the edge rusher. No problem. I don't see why you would take a quarterback number 2 overall.
Nope.
Especially a guy like Malik Willis. That is a huge ask. He's no Lamar Jackson coming out of college. And yes, he may have a better arm, but he's not that accurate. Don't believe me? 67% completion percentage 2 years ago, and this past season, 61. Oh, well, he's playing at Liberty, Adam. All right, Josh Allen played at Wyoming. Okay, I get it. Fine. You want to use the anomaly examples, be my guest. This light flashing is starting to give me, like, PTSD, I'm not going to lie. Anyways, it's hard for me to envision them taking a quarterback number 2 overall. I won't accept it. If Holmes does it, that's fine. Brad Holmes can do it. The moment you draft a quarterback, time starts.
Yeah.
Starts ticking. You've got 2 to 3 years at most. The second you draft a quarterback, I have expectations. You draft defensive players, you have a good defense. Everybody, not just in the building, everybody, your entire fan base will recognize, all right, Jared Goff has a ceiling. We need to get a quarterback. What are we willing to do to get a quarterback? If we feel we are a quarterback away, do we give up future draft capital? Do we give up next year's first-round pick, the Rams pick, a second-round pick, and the following first-round pick for a number 2, number 3 pick next year? Maybe you do that if you feel you have a good roster and you want to get a C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. That is the decision you can make.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do it if you don't have a good football team. And I'm sorry, are you going to buy into Dan Campbell if they go 2-15 this year?
Nope.
Playing the NFC East and the AFC East? Are you? Be honest with me. You would ask questions. And then Brad Holmes would have to make a decision. I need a head coach and a quarterback. That's not right. I don't want my head coach losing games. I want him to win games. Buy-in, winning. You want to build a culture? Win football games. You need a quarterback. We can all agree. This year, you kind of don't.
Yeah.
And you're paying Jared Goff already.
Don't force your
hand.
hand.
It costs a ton to get rid of him, whether you want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
Don't force it.
Maddie, we got to go to break.
Yes, we do.
When we get back, Kevin O'Connell likely to be named the Minnesota Vikings head coach after the Super Bowl. We're going to rank potentially the 4 head coaches in the NFC North going into next season. Maddie, what do we have to do?
We have to talk about Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, guys, your fitness is essential in 2022, and obviously they are the studio sponsors of the Woodward Sports Network. So happy to have them on board. Great people. And what's even better is their judgment-free atmosphere where you can work out with a peace of mind. Guys, Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone. Sign up today, $0 down, $10 a month. Don't forget, again, it's a judgment-free zone, judgment-free atmosphere. Enjoy your time at Planet Fitness. And as always, remember, your fitness is essential.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Here at Woodward Sports, we're always up for a good cause and a good time. This year we present the 2022 Cupid Sunday Run. Yeah, you heard right. Time to get in our underwear and run the streets of Detroit. For the last 12 years, we've stripped down, ran in the cold, and partied to raise money to help fund research to end NF. February 12th, join the staff from Woodward Sports and hundreds of other beautiful people downtown at the Tin Roof. You can register as an individual or your team today at woodwardsports.com. So start doing those squats, sit-ups, or just some 12-ounce curls. And get ready for Cupid Sunday Run 2022. Sponsored by the awesome people at Gypsy Vodka, Cintron, and Planet Fitness. We'll see you February 12th at the Tin Roof. In our underwear. Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the new sponsor a new partner
Ooh.
and a new friend of the Woodward Sports Network. Please show them a ton of love. The Chili Peppers Tanning Salon is where you'll find the cleanest salons in Detroit with spotless, sanitized rooms, trained and certified tanning professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, visit chilipepperstanning.com for the hottest deals, darkest tans, and home of your vitamin D headquarters. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat your competition by $5. Check them out. Show them some love. Again, they are a new friend and partner of the Woodward Sports Network. Please show them some love. Whew. I'm ready. I'm ready, Maddie.
So we likely know all of the coaches in the NFC next year. Shall we rank them heading into the 2022 season?
Adam, can I just vent to you real quick? Can I be honest with you?
I'm chilling.
And the only reason, listen, we don't know what Kevin O'Connell's going to be. I'm pretty confident I know what he's going to be, but as of right now, it's hard to rank him above, Dan Campbell and Matt LaFleur, of course, because of his inexperience. I'm a little terrified of Kevin O'Connell. I think he's an excellent, not only communicator. People always bring up this narrative. Sean McVay has had so many head coaches being hired. Obviously, what has he been in the league since 2017? He's had like multiple head coaches that are still in the NFL right now. I think Kevin O'Connell is going to be one of those guys. So moving on, I made this decision, thought with my head, and what coaches actually, in terms of resumes, ranking them. I don't know if this ranking is going to stay like this. I have number 1. We'll start with 4. We'll go backwards. Number 4. I'm going Matt Eberflus. And I don't know what Matt Eberflus is exactly right now. He did a great job with the Colts. Obviously, they had multiple.
Eberflus?
Yeah, Eberflus?
Yeah.
Eberflus. That's my 4th.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's my 4th. I don't know if listen, I don't know what I'm getting in Matt Eberflus. I know he hit on his offensive coordinator in Luke Getzky from the Packers. He was their quarterback coach for Aaron Rodgers, so good job on the offensive coordinator role. I'm going to stay there. I got Matt Eberflus at number 4 right now in my NFC
I'll
North.
agree with you. Look, new Bears head coach, unproven. It's kind of difficult to rank them ahead of any coach. Rookie head coaches are always tricky. So I'm going to, given his situation, he's 4 for me, not really because of him.
Are we doing situation as well?
Yeah, I take everything into consideration.
Okay, all right.
So number 3.
This is going to get fun.
So number 3.
Yep.
I'm going to go Kevin O'Connell. Even though I think he's walking into a great offensive situation, there is a lot of work to do in Minnesota. I like the Lions' situation going forward right now, just right now, more than the Vikings and the Bears. So I like it. I don't mind it. Kevin O'Connell for me, number 3 heading into next season.
That's what I had as well. Kevin O'Connell, and like you said, it was hard for me because he's walking into a situation where he can easily win 8 to 9 to 10 games. Offensively, they have everything. They have their quarterback. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. Kevin O'Connell was Kirk Cousins' quarterback coach in Washington when he was in Washington. So they already have a relationship. They have a rapport. Kevin O'Connell with this offense, I'm very confident he's going to win some games. But I'm not going to rank him above anybody. The other 2 I have ranked up here. So Kevin O'Connell, situationally among the top, but unproven. So he stays at 3 for me. Number 2, I'm assuming we're going to have the same.
We're going to agree. Dan Campbell, number 2, and number 1, Matt LaFleur.
And explain your reasoning, Dan Campbell? Obviously, more experience. You like the situation.
Going into his second year, I like the situation. I think if they draft the way I expect them to, they're going to have a pretty good football team next year, and they're going to be on the up and up. And I'm not sure I can say that about the Bears right now, even though they have a Justin Fields, but you don't know if he's going to work out. Minnesota, yes, dynamic on offense. What am I getting on the defensive side of the ball? They're hiring an offensive coach. Maybe Minnesota does take that next step next year. We saw with Kevin Stefanski, they went 13-3 and ran the division. So Minnesota would be a dark horse to me.
I would agree with you. Yep.
In the division next year. And let's not forget, they also play the AFC and NFC East. So it's going to be fun. Yeah. It's going to be a fun division next year. I do want to shift for the last 6 minutes before we have to go to break. Back to Malik Willis. Guys, I'm trying to understand what you see that I may not be seeing. Just from a far distance, all right?
Enlighten us.
Just from a far distance. Mechanically, ball takes a little bit longer than I'd like to come out of his hand. It is different. It's not impossible to work with. It's different. Again, when we're talking about the number 2 overall pick, you're telling me you found the guy to carry the baton for the next 12 to 14 years. And may I remind you, Detroit, you had the guy for 12 years, and you never built an actual roster around him. And now that you're actually building a good core roster, You want to risk it all because you think there's a quarterback in this draft class? Maybe. Don't be one of those teams that drafts Ryan Tannehill, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston. Are you going to need some luck to fall into a Joe Burrow, a Matthew Stafford, a Justin Herbert? Sure. But you had your opportunities before. You didn't take them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your punishment. You have an O-line, upgrade the defensive line, get some linebackers in the building, and let's get this football roster going.
Yeah.
If the Browns can win a playoff game with Baker Mayfield at quarterback, you can win with Jared Goff. Stop being so goddamn dramatic, Detroit. Jared Goff is an okay quarterback. He's average. I'm not saying he's special. He's average. You can win with average in this league. Ryan Tannehill, Baker Mayfield, average. You can win with them. Kirk Cousins, average. You can win with them. Jared Goff, average. Sean McVay got to a Super Bowl with him. Now, granted, you may not have that coaching staff, but you don't know what you have in your coaching staff right now. And it may not even be Willis. It could be Sam Howell that they pursue. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But right now, in terms of Malik Willis, well, I don't see Josh Allen. I don't see Mahomes. I don't. And I'll watch the Senior Bowl, and I'll continue. Corey sends us everything. I get to see everything. And I'll one up it for you guys. I will spend the weekend watching every single snap of Malik Willis at Liberty. And I will try to convince myself what the Lions are potentially doing. But I don't see it. And I haven't seen it from day one, and I told you, wait till Ole Miss, and look what happened. Our mechanics are weird, man, and they are a thing. Mm-hmm. You can't fix that stuff. That's a natural thing. Some people are natural throwers of the football. If it takes you way too long to get that ball out, I'm sorry. You got to be able to snap it out.
Yeah.
Snap it off. Snap it off. That's why the baseball players are doing so good. Mahomes, Murray, Matthew Stafford. Why? Snap off the football. That's a thing now in today's NFL.
I think more and more people now watch, like you said, you already brought it up, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I get the league is going in that. You need a mobility quarterback. You need someone who can make plays unscripted, run around the pocket. But at the end of the day, like you said, you could still, people forget, you could still win with pocket quarterbacks. Like Jared Goff, for example. They won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. They almost beat the Chiefs with Baker Mayfield. So at the same time, I would ask people to just relax a second and kind of just really evaluate Malik Willis. I get it's easy to fall in love with him. The talent's there. He's exciting to watch. He's what would you call it? Showtime, I guess, in terms of just how entertaining he is. But there's a difference between drafting a guy like a Josh Allen, like a Patrick Mahomes, like a Joe Burrow, those type of guys, and having a mobility as a factor. It's great. And Malik Willis, I'm sure, is fast as hell. But at the end of the day, like we said earlier, Brett Holmes probably has one chance to draft a quarterback. So because if you draft Malik Willis, he's your quarterback. You're not going to redraft one. You're not going to pull Arizona Cardinals and switch it around in a year. Malik Willis is your guy. So hopefully, if they do go that route, mechanically he can figure it out. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll always have these types of stories every single draft year. There's always quarterbacks that, especially this year, but it's not a very good class. There's going to be these storylines that pop up. Oh, the Malik Willis's. Oh, the Sam Howells. Just watch film. And just take a second to relax. And
look, I'm going to spend the whole weekend doing a player comp between Desmond Ridder and Malik Willis. I'll do that for you guys. I'll do that. We got to go to break. When we get back, mailbag time. Everybody in the chat, get your questions ready. Fish is so excited for this. Honestly, it's kind of funny. It's amazing. I love you, buddy. We got to go to break. We'll see you when we get back.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Live from Woodward Avenue. That's why we're called Woodward Sports. Detroit's Radio Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you all for joining us this morning. It's mailbag time. We'll start with the first question we've seen in the chat. If Willis balls out at the Senior Bowl and does great at the Combine, do you think it'll change your mind about him?
There's
maybe. But again, at number 2 overall, that's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. At number 2 overall, I didn't even agree with it for Zach Wilson. Sorry, somebody had to say it. Somebody had to say it. I know, man. I know.
He goes, I know.
Listen. Look, I'm going to spend the weekend watching a lot of Malik Willis. More than I have so far. But it's going to be tough, again, for me to buy in to draft the number 2 overall pick as a quarterback this year. Now, if you want to trade up with the Rams pick and use a future pick or a second-round pick, sure, maybe, if you feel he's the guy. But for me, today, drafting Malik Willis at number 2 is off limits. If you want to draft any other quarterback between 18 and 32, be my guest if you want to trade up.
You have to trade up to get one.
Not my problem. Yep. Number 2 overall, for me, is off limits at quarterback. There's not a quarterback I would take at number 2 overall this season.
I like this question. If the Lions trade up for a quarterback, would you rather have Matt Corral or Willis?
God, that's so tough.
I know.
Again, we're talking about quarterbacks that none of you are in love with.
Yeah.
In love with. Everybody was in love with Burrow. In love with Justin Herbert's arm talent. In love with Tua's arm accuracy. That was the thing. Where are the scouts that are in love with any of these quarterbacks outside of maybe Kenny Pickett? And now Malik Willis heating up lately. Where? You fall in love with them back in September, not just now. It's a thing you see in September. And you know what? In October of last season, not this past one, but the prior year, Sean Belizean was doing a show on the Woodward Sports Network. I went up to him. I said, Sean, 3rd or 4th round pick. You know what I would do if I was the Lions? He told me what, Adam? I said, I would take a project chance on Zach Wilson. And he looked at me and he said, you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Don't go there.
A few months, I swear to God, a few months go by. Dude's projected a number 4 overall pick. And he continues to shoot up. And eventually he's taken number 2 overall.
Yeah. But we talk about situations.
Well, we talk about situations. Talk about when you want a quarterback, you get him at all costs.
Yeah.
And if the Lions want and feel they need a quarterback, which goes against their entire ethos and everything they have told you from day one, because they have told you from day one they like Jared Goff and think he's more than just a bridge quarterback. But if they feel they need a quarterback, they can take him wherever the hell they want. That's fine. The clock starts right away. And I will be insufferable if he doesn't work out. When you draft a quarterback, you're on the clock. It's that simple. Robert Saleh, in a unique situation out in New York. He was brought in the same year they were going to draft a quarterback. He'll get maybe an extra year than maybe more he should if he's not working out. That's it. The clock starts for the GM, for the head coach, for everybody in that building when you draft a quarterback. Why? Because that rookie contract is when you can build a super team and not have to pay anybody. Jeff, would you trade Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant for Jaylen Brown?
Ooh. That's tough for me. I like Jaylen Brown a lot. I think he's obviously he's more talented than both those players. I would only do that if the Celtics gave some sort of compensation a little bit back. I mean, 2 players like that for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's great. He's athletic. He's a great defender, but he's not going to change your entire organization. And I like Sadiq Bey, so maybe I'm biased, but it's going to have to be some extra compensation in there with Seam for me to bite on that trade. Bagley, Fox, or Hield from Sacramento at the deadline. Would you make a move for any of them? I honestly don't see as of right now. Bagley was on the trade market. I don't know what the Kings are doing in terms of who they're dealing or who they're speaking to. But if there's always a chance you can get either Bagley or Hield, I'm fine with it. Of De'Aaron Fox, obviously, we have our point guard, but Hield's a great shooter. You need shooting, and Bagley, you need size. So I'm good with both of them.
Yeah, I mean, it depends again what you'd have to give up.
Yeah,
but I'm not moving off of Sadiq or Cade.
No.
Just get rid of Jeremy Grant and move on. Where does Devontae Adams go this year? I think he goes to the Raiders.
I think he goes wherever Aaron goes.
No, if Aaron returns to the Packers,
I think he stays.
You're going to have a hard time paying him. And Aaron Rodgers is going to have to take a big pay cut and push all the money down the future and commit to a long-term deal to make it work in Green Bay. That's what he needs to do. Yeah. He needs to take a pay cut and push all the money to year 3 and 4 of a restructured deal. That way, for the next 2 years, the Packers can keep their core and still compete.
Yep.
Is that worth it for not only the franchise, but for Aaron and Devontae? Because Devontae's going to want to get paid max money.
Yeah, he wants the most.
You think he's going to stay? Even if he does get tagged, the Raiders are going to offer him basically the NBA's equivalent of a max deal for a wide receiver. The Packers can't do that. I think he goes to the Raiders. And I don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He bought land in Tennessee. I think I care.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
He is the kind of person that would love to live secluded away from the world. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
If I had $50 million in the bank, I would go live in the woods somewhere and you would never hear from me. I would kill my own fish. I would watch ESPN. I would watch Woodward Sports. And I would watch
That's nice of you.
I don't watch much TV. I just watch sports, really. So I would just watch sports.
Australian
and I would beat it
Open?
myself. I would read some books. And I would not even be on social media.
Olympics?
What?
Ooh, I like this question. Anthony, our guy, Pistons Talk. The Pistons are interested in Colin Sexton, DeAndre Ayton, and Jalen Brunson in free agency. Which player are you giving $100 million to? Well, I'll make it easy.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. I was going to say.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
DeAndre
love you,
Ayton,
Adam.
this team is in the Eastern Conference Finals in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Give me 3 years. DeAndre Ayton signs a max deal with Detroit. In 3 years, they'll be in the Eastern Conference Final. Because I still need time for Sadiq and Kate to develop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Anthony, you're...
Anthony. That contract?
Perfect.
DeAndre Ayton, welcome over.
Perfect.
Come over here. Come on.
All
over
right,
to
what other
Detroit.
questions do we have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Adam, have you seen the mock drafts with Aiden going #1 overall? Yeah, at this point, I don't know. I still think it's Evan Neal.
Yeah, because they're basing it off best player. It's not best fit.
I get it, but...
Because, I would go Evan Neal, best fit. Why would they take Aiden, another edge rusher, when Trevor Lawrence is running for his life? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you get the tackle.
Yeah.
And again, Doug Peterson's there. You're going to want to go for a Lane Johnson-esque type player. Who are you taking at 1?
Yeah.
Or do you trade back? But who's going to be willing to trade up to #1? It's such a tough position.
there you
Maybe they
go.
take Thibodeau. Who knows? Maybe they go all in. But for me, the O-lineman makes too much sense for me. It makes too much sense. If you watch sports, you're not the type that can live in the woods on your own. That's not true. That's not true. I can find some satellite dish that could work. I can make it work. And I'll make sure it's in a secluded area where I'll build my own tower if I had $50 million. I'll build my own tower. Listen, don't kill my vibe.
With a bunch of coffee down there.
Listen, this is a complete hypothetical. Leave me alone with your factual stuff. Jesus Christ. All right, what else we got in the chat? Before we go, we can get one more question in.
Would Chet Holmgren be good with the Pistons?
Yeah.
Chet.
I think, look.
You think his size worries you a little bit?
No, I'm not worried.
He's built like- he's built like
KD
fish a
came
little
out
bit.
basically the same way. If that kid adds 20 pounds of muscle,
But KD also plays on the perimeter a little bit. I mean, Chet does as well.
he
but he's
does
a
as
center.
well. He
He's
can
a
do the
center.
same thing. He's a center, but he can
But
dribble.
if my center's
he can ball
standing
handle.
over there on the three-point line, I'm like, get your ass in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
I think
DeAndre
Chet
Ayton-
is a perfect fit for the Pistons. I really do. I think whoever they take at 3, they'll be fine. There's a really good,
And he can
really
space the
good
floor.
top 3 this
He can
year.
space the floor. I like Chet.
All right, well, we got to go. Thank you guys so much. I enjoyed the show so much
Yeah.
today. It's a Friday. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Jeff, you as well. Abe, thanks for coming in and checking out. Fish, go to hell. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
Olympics.
I will.
Alex, thanks
Thank
for
you.
always being here and taking care of business for us. We appreciate every single one of you. Make sure before you go, you leave a like on the YouTube channel. It helps us a ton. We appreciate you guys so much. Again, enjoy your weekend and get ready. Get ready, because next week is Super Bowl week, and I am going to be absolutely insufferable.
Can't wait.
Matthew Stafford all week. Harambe.
We might show up in tuxedos.
You're not ready.
You have no idea
You're
what's
not
going
ready
on.
for next week. All week. I'm going to have fun next week. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to live in the moment and enjoy the moment. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers. Love you all. We'll see you Monday.